Welcome again to this logic models part, qualitative dependent variables. Okay, so yesterday we did estimation of logic model and interpretation with odds ratio and log of odds. So as few of you demanded that we need marginal effects and a little bit advanced about this logic models like multinomial logic models or ordered logic models. Though I have not kept these advanced parts for this particular series because for them it needs a lot of time. So those explanations require few extra exercises. Then only one can understand logics behind those models, interpretations, and process that how these softwares will work with those models. Okay, so in brief, I'll explain those process. If you want to know the more details, then maybe next time I'll take those topics in advanced research training course. Then I'm going to take those things in with this part. You are most welcome for that because that I really need a time and lot of exercise. Okay, so let me put it in a simple way. But we are doing it and what we will complete today. Okay, so most of you join now or still joining. Nikrit, Ikra is Yamini, Soumya is absent. Nimisha, Nishat, Divya. Shreya is also absent. Okay. One situation might be that it's not that all of you are working on these type of models. It might be that you're not that interested, but sometimes we read research papers, right? And then if one has applied these type of models, and at least to read that research paper, it might help you. Okay. In qualitative dependent variables, there are four possible situations. Discrete choice in binomial form, is 1 and 0, then order, ordinal, like 1, 2, 3, 4, in some preference, then nominal, like social groups, ST, SC. It's not some order, but there is a categorization. And then censored outcomes. For these, we have specific models. Like for this particular situation, we can apply logit or probit model. Again, for this, we can apply logit or probit model. For nominal, we can apply, this is ordered logit model and ordered probit model. For this, you can apply multinomial logit model or multinomial probit model. And for censored outcomes, you can apply probit model. For estimation part, maximum of these are by, in place of OLS, now we are using MLE method. Reasons I told. These are MLE methods. Then to interpret the results, you have two or three options. One, log of odds, then probability, predict probabilities. Third, marginal effects. And this choice is yours, that which you want. Logo forts, predict probabilities or marginal effects. This you can do for all of them, all the cases. This particular case, though I'm not planned in detail, but tomorrow I'll take this case, censored outcome. This is some threshold level type of models. They're totally different. Tomorrow we will take it. So now let me tell you very frankly, if you move from this left hand corner, from this particular corner to right hand corner, means as you move further and further in these concepts, things get complicated. They are more or less some simplistic way you can understand these. But to understand this ordered, then multinomial and all these cases, these are the complex cases. Maybe that's why individuals say this is advanced econometrics. Although I don't know really what advanced and basic the difference is, but yes, this is really advanced part. So that's what I'm saying, that although I have not planned this for this particular part because it need a lot of time to explain you the framework behind these models, how these models are estimated, then interpretation of these models, and uh, few limitations and problems with these models. I'm going to take this in next series or maybe after that, because it really needed time, at least only 3 or 4 lectures each specific individual models, because their results are not easy to interpret or estimate, and specifically with the pirated softwares, it will take a lot of time. Okay, so we are done with this qualitative dependent variable, this discrete case. So far we only did logit model with MLE method, logo forts, yes, one is missing here, odds ratio. These are 4 different methods to interpret the results. Choice is yours. But I found is among these, odds ratio is much easier as compared to marginal effect or log of odds. Means that's my preference. You might not convince with that. That's your choice. You can go by predict probability is not an interpretation. It's something that for individual values you have to predict the estimates. That's not some interpretation part. So that's totally different thing. Marginal effects is another way, that margins at mean. With that you can uh, interpret your results. Like I think Gagan was saying yesterday that he's facing problem in the marginal effects. But first, Gagan, I don't know. So far, I'm not convinced with these things that still why one would prefer marginal effects as compared to odds ratio. Log of odds, I can understand that when we say that increased by log of odds, so theoretically, in simplistic way, it won't make any explanation that what log of odds means. But odds ratio at least say that in proportion to your probability of success divided by 1 minus pi, that what are the odds as compared to that thing, that make a sense. But as you said, let me give you these demonstrations, ordered logit model and then marginal effects. Then choice is yours whether you want to apply or not. But as per my experience, like once I did these models from, I think, yeah, Manshu sir in JNU, and he was also not in preference of these complex procedures, because then interpretations and actual purpose of the models is not possible. That what actually you are doing, and somewhere in between you lose the track. So they won't prefer, and another yeah, another documentations I found from many other universities that they are also not Yes, these are the possible models, and for these possible situations, if you don't have this choice, definitely you have to apply. Means if your variable is in this particular form, then you don't have any other choice. You have to apply this ordered or multinomial logits. But if you have a choice, then avoid it. If you don't, then you don't have choice and just apply. Then just you have to focus upon the odds ratio that or any other method which you are trying to explain your results. Okay, so first start with this predict probabilities because yesterday we not did this on this part. So I'm taking same example which I started yesterday. Let's suppose my model is regular wage workers in service sector 1 if they are in regular wage in service sector, otherwise 0. And my independent variables are sector, urban or rural, household size, social group, gender, age, marital status, general education level, religion. So first, before running the regression, let's look upon the data set, that what data set we have and what are the categories we are putting in an independent variable. So my dependent variable is 1 if that particular individual is working as regular wage in service sector, 0 otherwise. These are my independent variables. Now, sector is categorical. Rural, for rural the value is 1. For urban the code is 0 or 2. Here they are using 2. And household size, social group, ST, SC, OBC, and general others. Gender, age, marital status, married, never married, widow. 10. Education levels, start from illiteracy to postgraduate and above. Besides that, I can also take this year of education. That let's suppose one is postgraduate above, he might have 17 or 18 years in education. So either of you can take any of these variables. First, when you write the regression model in Stata software, few things you have to take care. My dependent now, and this is the first case. This discrete 1 and 0. And we have a two options. Either we can apply logit model or profit model. First, I'm doing it with logit model. Then I explain you probit model for the same model. What are the differences between this logit and probit model? Then I'll come to this point: ordinal case and marginal effects. In ordinal multinomial, the difference is of the dependent variable. Yes, there is a difference in the interpretation that I'll explain. Okay, so my dependent variable, regular wage in service sector. I'm giving 1 if he is doing regular wage worker as a regular wage in service sector and 0 otherwise. In my independent variables, one is social group. Social group has 4 categories: ST, SC, OBC, and others. Now, how you introduce this model to this data? Generally, these are the coded values, right? Let's suppose code for ST is 1, SC for 2, OBC is 3, and others is 4. So for Stata, if you write this model as, let's suppose you're writing this model in a Stata, logit, this regular wage and salary earning, dependent variable, then independent social group. Then this software will read it as continuous variable like 1 2 3 4. For software won't understand that this is your categorical variable, that you want to compare the results from one category vis-a-vis the others. Software won't understand unless you give this instruction to software. So you have to put I dot before the categorical variables in independent variable. Then software will give you the results in comparison to first category, the coefficients for all other categories, like the dummy variables. So this is only when you put this in this particular format that you have to take care. Then similarly, like gender is the categorical variable, so I have to I dot. Then education level, if I think it's categorical, then I have to I dot general education level. For religion as well, I dot religion. What it means that Stata will give you coefficient vis-a-vis some reference category. By default, the code one, let's suppose ST is the code one. Here, female is the code one, or education level illiterate is the code one. That will become a reference category, and others category Stata will give you coefficient in reference to base category. So that you have to take care. If you want give this iota to this with these variables, Stata will understand like 1 2 3 4 the codes you have, that's some numerical form, so it won't understand that you have a categorical variable. If your category years of education, then you don't need to put this iota, then just write that particular variable. So this thing you have to keep in mind while you write the model in a Stata software. So let's see if you write it. And yes, I am preferring first odds ratio. So for odds ratio, comma, odds ratio. So let's see how these results are. Logit, then categorical I dot household size 1 2 3 4. I'm not putting because there is no category specific category unless I categorize that 1 to 4 one category, then 4 5 to 8 second category, then 9 to 12. Then I have to make it category wise. Social group, again categorical variable. Age, unless I make these age groups, so far it's not a categorical variable, and so on. So let's run the model with the odds ratio first. Now, based upon the number of independent variables and the sample size, software will take a time. But yes, if it's original, as far as my experience from this lab computers where they have been original, it only takes few seconds. Okay, so as I told you, it will give you log likelihood. It will maximize that with the iteration process. Sample size is 433,271, sufficiently large is the NSSO data. Now, likelihood ratio is telling that this model is significant at 5% level of significance. In likelihood ratio test, what this it will do that with the zero independent variable model, they compare to these likelihood ratios, and if that's significantly significant at with the chi-square distribution, then model is significant. And pseudo R-squares, I told you, Afron's R-square count ratio, McFadden R-square, you can use whatever R-square you want to use. Okay, so take first case sector. In sector now, female is the 1 and urban is the 2. So when I put this I dot in the model, by default, this software take that first, the code first, the category you have given a one code as a reference category. Like here, the female for female, the code is 1. So software is taking that as a reference category and it is giving me a coefficients for urban sector vis-a-vis to that reference category. So how you interpret this result now? It means with comparison to reference category, sorry, rural, not urban, but rural with rural. In case of urban, odds in favor of as an individual being a regular wage salary earning in service sector are 1.94. That means 94% chances are higher for a particular individual from urban to become a regular wage salary earning in service sector as compared to individuals from a rural sector. That is the interpretation for odds ratio. Next, household size. Household size is not my categorical variable. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 means depends upon the family. So for this is not a categorical, so there is no reference category. For household size, the interpretation is that if household size increased by one family member, one individual, the odds are for being in a regular wage salary earning in a service sector vis-a-vis to others are 1.03. That means 3% chances are more to become a regular wage salary earning in a service sector if household size increased by one family member. That is the interpretation for this second household size. Yes, but before that, you have to take care whether it's statistically significant or not. Then only you have to interpret the results. Then in social group, reference categories, I think ST because ST code is 1. Yes. If you won't give this ITA reference category, then what software will do, first it won't take that categorical variable. Second, reference category, it will take the category which have maximum frequency. So I suggest you give this ITA to software so that it can take your first category as a reference category and count that as a categorical variable. So in this case of, let's compare these results for others. For others, odds are in favor of being a regular wage and salary earning 1.36 as compared to ST category. That means 36% chances are more in case of others to become a regular wage and salary earning in service sector as compared to other categories. In case of others as compared to ST category. That's, I think, reality. Others categories have more economic resources as compared to the tribals. And for this regular wage and salary earning, this particular sector, you need some communication skills and basic education level, which is lacking behind in the scheduled tribes. So their chances are low. Yeah, one other important thing. These explanations, although we are running with this logit model and all, even simple percentage tables can explain these stories. Last time, I think I was working with Harmendra sir in university on one research paper, and I tried to attempt this thing with the simple tables, percentage tables, and then I found that it is possible that even with the simple percentage frequency tables, we can explain this situation because these are the just proportions. These all odds ratios and everything is in form of a proportions that we can work with the frequency tables. But yes, thing is that then you have to, only thing is that are those relations are statistically significant or not. That also you can prove with the chi-square. With chi-square we can prove these categorical relations, and with Cramer's we can also get this some coefficient for R that whether its relation is high or low. But yes, the impact thing then whether that is statistically significant to impact that outcome that relation is only possible with the regression model. So that's the only one thing that why we need regression. Otherwise, this is possible even with the simple frequency tables. Okay. Then in case of a gender, for female, odds are 10 times higher. Now, here the thing is, you have to think about that why 10 times odds are higher. Does it make some sense? And it is statistically significant. Can any one of you can explain me this, that why odds are 10 times higher for female to become a regular wage and salary earning in service sector as compared to male? Anyone? The 10 times is too high, right? Let's suppose I am running this particular model for my research paper. Then this, if this will be the situation, that how I'll explain that thing in a research paper, or if any in any conference or anywhere I am presenting this paper, what explanation I'll give for this particular figure 10 times. Better interpersonal relations skill. Mm, okay, Rima is one step forward. She's yeah, you are might be right. Means I'm the what exact the reason is means actually my question is from some this technical side, that actually what these odds ratios are. This is in proportion. Like let's suppose there are 50 females in urban sector, total 50 female, and males are 500. Total population size, I'm taking hypothetical. Out of this 50, only 5 females are working as regular wage and salary earning. Males are nearby 100, or let's take this case 45, or simply to take 40. So now if I compare these two numbers, only these two numbers, then it is that mm, males are as compared to 5, I think 8 times higher, right? But this odds ratio and this logistic models, it will not compare in this particular proportion. It will compare 5 out of 50 and 40 out of 500. So here the percentage is higher for female, right? This proportion is higher. Even this number is small, but this proportion is higher. And here the proportion is low comparatively. This is the one technicality about these odds ratios and these logistic coefficients that you have to take care while you interpret your results. Now, first, is it the situation? This is the one of the possible situation that it might be a sample size, that sample size they have taken. Is it that appropriate? It might be that here they have only taken 15 cases and here they have taken 500. If they are equal cases, means let's suppose the situation is that 50 females and 50 males. If that kind of sample size you have, then situation will be different, right? Then we have to, then that will be more easy to compare the results. Now Rima is saying that it might be that it's not because of the sample size. That might be one angle. Rima is right that it's not because of this sample situation. It is because of this numerator position. That because these females have few attributes which are required for these type of jobs, that's why their proportion is higher. That might be one angle, but I'm telling you that another angle also you have to take, this sample proportion. This thing you have to take care whether the sample proportion is accurate or not. Then you have to jump. Okay, so it might be a this denominator problem, or it might be a numerator problem. If it's a numerator, then you have to think in form of some attributes that why these females are more in this particular sector. Maybe the jobs we are putting as a regular wage and salary earning are type of jobs where females are more. That might be one possible situation. But first you have to take care about the sample size. If that will be a situation, then it's better that okay, they are. Or it might be like this job market, this labor market, that generally all the casual jobs, if you see the casualization, if you have a little bit idea about this labor economics, all the casual jobs, transportation sector, wholesale retail sector, small wholesale, marginal petty traders that we generally say. This in transportation, rickshaw, taxi drivers, bus drivers, and everywhere. Then vendors, small shopkeepers everywhere. There then mechanical jobs. These are all are in a male oriented, right? In India, females are not there. So their percentage is quite large in these type of jobs. Yeah, construction workers and all. That may be that because of the job market situation, that those female who are working, either they are working like in some office type of jobs if they are graduate, and or plus two, even they're working in like early, I think in nearby 2000, this call center trend was began, and this Gurgaon was a major hub for that. So they might be doing that kind of job, or even housemaids. They are also a regular wage and salary earning, because it's not something with the regular wage with the that government job only. It might be in the private sector, office and casualization. So that might be situation that the jobs which type of females are doing, those jobs are more or less in a category of regular wage as per the NSS questionnaire, or whatever way the question you have framed. That may be a cause that their proportion is higher. So I hope you're getting this point, that it might be because of the numerator, it might be because of this denominator sample problem, or it might be because of attributes. So it's a combination of all these. Then only in finally we can conclude something about the odds ratio or this proportion or even the probability, that why their probability is high. So whenever you apply these type of models, before jump to final conclusions and this interpretation, first think twice or three times about all these possible situations. Then only try to answer these interpretations. Don't just go with these numbers that okay, this 10 times, okay, this is 10 times. First, just you have to do some exercise. Why 10 times? It is statistically significant, and this is some large 10 times is much large number, right? Explanation is required for that. Then you have to think about that. So that's the one thing, and it's not only for the odds ratio, for the probability, for the marginal effect, everything is going to be inflated with the same factor. So you have to think about it. Then, okay, let's see, is there any other odd possible situation here? In age is more or less quite one. Why I found this preferred this odds ratio, because this is easy explanation that okay, pi by 1 minus pi, that what are the odds in compared to this situation for this situation. So easy to interpret, easy to understand. But it's and choice is yours. Means I can't suggest you or your guides. I have seen many times guides are saying that report marginal effects or report probabilities. Choices, that depends upon the situation. Okay, so education level, then more or less all the education levels are statistically significant. Is there some significant increase? Yes. Now let's see here in this after this plus two, higher higher highest, but this is category how they have written. Let's see this higher secondary means plus two. After plus two, if one move to a graduate, then odds ratio, odds are 1.95, means 94 chances, 94% chances are higher, and that's true. This especially this is corporate and all these regular type of jobs. Graduation play a role, right? So if it's increasing this probability by nine chances for 94%, so that's true. Yes, that's possible. And for this postgraduate, and these comparisons are with the reference category that you always have to take care. Reference categories here is a illiterate person. So as compared to illiterate person, for the postgraduate and above, the chances are odds are 3.43 times higher. So that's also true, right? Means most of the postgraduate won't prefer other types of jobs. They always prefer this regular wage type of jobs. So that's the situation. So this is the way you have to interpret the results. If it's a continuous variable like the sphere of education, then I'll say with the 1 year increase in education. Now I don't have any reference category, but just in a unit increase in that particular variable. Again, in religion, is there any odd explanation? No, more or less results are, yeah, they are more or less results are equal. Yeah, another thing, sample size problem yesterday I told you. If in like this general education level, here we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then you have to first cross check the frequency cells, sorry, sample size in each of these categories. Is that a sufficient? Then only make this separate categories. Otherwise, the simple solution is you have to club few categories. अगर आपको सैम्पल साइज कहीं कम आ रहा है तो उसको क्लब कर दो, ताकि आपको सैम्पल साइज जो this logit model, this maximum likelihood estimation procedure, it need a sufficient sample size in all the cells that that you have to take care. So for that, if is there any problem in any particular category, club that category with another category to solve that sample size issue. See, like in these cases, because their sample sizes are very low, like for these categories, I think only 100 to 100 something. So if you are working on any particular state, then you have to check the sample size, then you have to club these categories. Okay, so this is the logit model with odds ratio. Okay, next. What next we have? Okay, predict probabilities. If you need probabilities, command is predict and then give a name to that particular variable. Predict, that I want to give that name is probabilities of logit model. And this is my first model, so I'm giving 1. PR logit 1. So what it will do, it will give you probabilities in the end. After all the variables, now you have a probabilities. But these probabilities are that for this particular individual have all these specific values, right? If one has these all the attribute, what is the probability for this individual that he or she will be in a regular wage salary earning category in service sector? So this is only 0.297. Oh yeah, one important thing. Remember we were discussing here construction and all, but this model is only for service sector. So we have to exclude all the agriculture case here, then manufacturing, construction, everything. It means only comparison is for this wholesale retail trade, transportation, communication, public administration, and all other type of government and corporate sector jobs. That's the dependent variable. Okay, so probabilities are now for this particular individual, the probability of become regular wage and salary earning in service sector is 0.29%. 0.29 means 29%. For second, 23%. With probability between 0 and 1. So let's see one case which has a high probability. Okay, this particular individual has a high probability, that is 83%. So let's see what attributes this particular individual have. 0.83%. Although this individual is not in this category, but yeah, this individual now this is the thing. These pseudo R square. How these pseudo R squares are actually, these are the maximum of these pseudo R square in these probabilistic models are based upon gap between actual uh, true prediction, this correct figure with the accurate prediction. In this case, it is 83%. It means this individual needs to be in a regular wage salary earning, right? But he is not in that particular sector. This is an incorrect prediction. So this, if there are maximum incorrect predictions, if these are the situations, then your pseudo squares will be low. That means your model is not correctly specified. So that also you have to test. In the model specification, with the lstat command, you can see whether your model is, how your model is correctly specified or not. For example, let me check my model, is it specified correctly? Lstat is the command. In my case, 82%, I think 82% predictions are correct. So that's a quite high number. So I can trust on this particular model. Okay, let's see this case 83%. Why the probability is so high for this particular number? 83%, what attributes we have? First year of education, 10 years. So this is only, I think, 10 higher secondary. Okay, then this is widow case, female. So as we know, for females, the probability is high. OBC, maybe some governmental support in job. Household size is small. In this case, we can see there's only one. She is the only person in this case. Rural is the category. Then religion is not in this model. Okay. Social group, yeah. So 29 is the age group. 30, 29, 20, 50. So she might have some maybe some government job after her husband has died. Might be any situation. So might be the chances are high. So the probability is high. Then let's see another case, 97%. Yes, this guy is highly educated, 15 years of education, graduate, never married, 29-year-old female from a scheduled tribe. Might be she have this uh, governmental support in a job sector. She's also doing this job, so probability that it's higher for her to become a regular wage salary earner. So these are the probabilities that you can compare. I mean, this is, if you want to predict for any particular situation, then this is probabilities. These probabilities are useful. That's incorrect prediction. Yes, it's 0. It means as per the model, she needs to be in a regular wage salary earning. 83% are the chances, but she is not doing. So it's not that your model is going to predict 100% accurate. Residuals are there. But residuals are क्या आपकी prediction गलत है, right? 1 होना चाहिए था but 0 है. That will be a situation. There are residuals, unknown factors. So in my case, 82% predictions are right in this particular model. 82%. So it means this 17% predictions are incorrect, and this is the case of out of those 17%. So if it's higher, that let's suppose in your case it's 45% predictions are incorrect. So I can't trust on that model. You have to first do some changes in your model. That thing you have to take care. That's the thing now in applied econometrics. It's so many things that we have to take care. I'm just taking this first simple case, this logit model with the odds ratio. And now you have this idea that how many things we have to take care. sample size, then MLE method, why MLE method, how we interpret the results, how these odds ratios are changing. Uh, is model is significant? What is the pseudo R-square? How correctly the model is specified? Which of these interpretations we will select for our model? Whether we have to use logit model or the probit model. So these are n number of things in these type models that we have to take care. Then finally we can select our model that okay, I have cross-checked everything and this is my final result. I had compared these results with all the alternative models and I think this is the better for this. And that is their subjectivity is there, but at least you have to do this exercise. And that's the thing that applied part is not as quite simple as the theoretical part. In theoretical part, it's just that you have to understand the derivation results and okay, logit model is done. But in applied part, there are n number of things you have to side by side, you have to take care. Okay, so this is second part. This is predict probabilities. So log of odds, yeah, log of odds is that if I run this model without odds ratio, like here I have written OR, right? If I run without odds ratio, then it will give me results in log of odds. These are the log of odds. That for urban, yeah, with reference category, one move from rural to urban, log of odds are 0.66. That's you can say if it's statistically significant. Pseudo R-square is not going to change, model is not going to change, statistically significant. More or less, your log likelihood is quite same in these both the cases, but this interpretation is going to change. So log of odds generally is not make any sense. That's what it means. That's why we prefer either probabilities, marginal factor, or odds ratio. So probability is done, odds ratio is done. So let's take this marginal effect. Some of you might be interested. Although you have to explain that why you want marginal effects, because I am so far not convinced with marginal effect methodology. Okay, now I'm going to take this particular case, marginal effects for continuous and discrete variables. This is paper from University of Notre Dame, and they had explained in detail that what are the problems with the marginal effects specifically in a continuous variable. Because you won't find this particular specific topic in marginal effects in this all the econometrics textbooks. Reason I don't know, but they have not explained this, that what are the limitations. So you have to need to read few research papers before applying marginal effects. Command is quite easy, that after running this model, let's suppose this is my odds ratio is my model. It is taking time even in these cases. So what will happen if we run this multinomial cases? Okay, so for marginal effects, the command is margins, comma, this is differentiation dy by dx within bracket star at means, that margins from average. Run it now, it will take time, I think, for margins, because in my model I have a 7 or 8 total variables. Within that there are categories. In few variables it's 7 categories, 5 categories, 3 categories. So it will take some time to calculate the margins at means. Okay, so for the time being, let's see what these margins are. I think Pallavi or Gagan asked this about the margins. Okay, so if you this is some simple model where only dependent variable is grade independent is GPA score. Then PCI, this is some teaching classroom, like either you are in a traditional or some advanced. And choose, I don't know this, what this specific variable is, but for simplicity, just take any other variable. So if you calculate margins at mean, now how you interpret these results? First, it will give you margins at mean for all the cases. Then these margins you have changes, right? So how you interpret these results? Margins generally compare your results for discrete case. I'm taking a discrete case, not this multinomial or ordered scale. This is a discrete 1 and 0. So in this particular situation, this margins effects is change from 0 to 1. Okay, this gap between probability of 1 to 0. Now, with respect to your independent variable, whether your independent variables is moving from 0 to 1, if it's categorical, and there are only two possible categories. Like for example, this categorical variable PCI, ESI, they have two categories, 1 and 0. 1 is the, I think their 0 is for their traditional classrooms, and 1 is for their modern classrooms. So they want to see the effect of this change in classroom from traditional to modern, effect on the grade of a this particular students. So in this case, the fact is that 0.45%, this is the marginal effect. Now what it means 0.45? The marginal effect at mean for PCI of 0.456 tell us that for two hypothetical individuals with average values on GPA, this is marginal factors comparison from the average, GPA and choose, the predicted probability of success is 0.45 greater for the individual in PSI than for one who is in a traditional classroom. So this is how you have to interpret your marginal effect results, that as compared to this average position of the model for all the variables, compared to that, if your independent variable moves from one category to another category, like here from 0 to 1, what is the change in the probability? In this case, change in the probability is 0.45, so that is greater by 0.45%. So it means if one individual move from traditional classroom to modern classroom, his average outcome in grades with these average scores, the probability is going to be a greater by 0.45%. So now you think whether this odds ratio is easy to interpret or this marginal effect. That's my first question. That's why I told you I don't prefer marginal effect. One reason is this, that this interpretation is not easy as this odds ratio case. Second, what if it's a continuous variable like this GPA they have? Now for GPA the coefficient is 0.53. So if in any case your continuous variable is not like that from one unit to second unit or third, like rupees, 1 rupee to second rupee, 2 rupees or 3 rupees. Sometimes it's in a fractions. So these marginal effects are not keeping this thing in a fraction. They are the spontaneous changes, right? So then that's not the true explanation which marginal effects will give you. This paper, I'll share this paper. You can read this paper. They explain that case in details, that what is the problem with the continuous variable. And that's the one major problem to interpret the results. But before that, even if I take this simple case, I am not convinced with this type of explanation that what it means. Let's mean you are sending these results to someone who don't know this model. Then first that guy have to understand that what is your average position. This is the average position, And with respect to this average position, you are telling then what is the probability increasing or decreasing, right? So that's quite complicated. Okay, did not show what is the impact of traditional classroom on gene. Individual marginal effects you can find, like this is Pallavi, this is the case. Margins for PCI at means. Individual effects you can calculate that only for that particular variable. I hope you are asking this case, right? Only for that particular case. Then you have these two marginal effects, right? For 0 and for 1. So if you are moving from 0 to 1, like this is 0, traditional classroom to a modern classroom, this is how margins are changing, right? From 0.10 to 0.56. And that's actually this 46%, this 456, this number is this gap between these two categories from 0.456 to, sorry, 0 to 1. So this is a change of greater increase in probability by 45%, but keeping in think that this is the average position, that with compared to this average position of the model, this is the change in the marginal effects. But what if this is a continuous, this is the categorical variable like 0 to 1 or 1, 2, 3, 4, and number of categories you have. Yes, we want to know individual effects, we use this method. But why not OR, Pallavi? OR giving you the individual, why not individual? This comparison is okay if you are saying that from one category to another category, but this OR will give you with to the respect to the reference category. But that's also true for this marginal. Means in odds ratio, we are comparing results with the reference category, that what will happen when you move from reference category to a other category. So if even in the margins, if you, okay, let's see the marginal results if they have provided. Yes, now you can see here, even your these marginal changes are also with respect to the reference category. So how Pallavi this is different? I don't know. Means your odds ratio are giving you this side. Odds ratio is reference to results with the comparisons to reference category. Same is the thing with the marginal effects. Comparison to the reference category that, like in this case, compared to this ST, the probability for others is greater by 0.04%, right? Keeping this average in the middle, that this is the average position. Compared to ST, the probability is greater by 0.46 for the other categories to become in a regular wage salary earning in a service sector. So even this is also giving you the same thing that with the odds ratio, just numbers will differ, that definitely the formulas will differ, so numbers will differ, that there it might be 33%, here it might be only 0.04%. That's not, we can compare, means we can't compare odds ratio results with the marginal effects. But if you want to compare the individual things, that's also possible with the odds ratio. You don't need marginal effects. Second thing, you have to take care about this all results, that keeping this thing in mind and keeping all other variables at a constant pace, then your comparison is from increase from this point to this point, right? Second, these are the categorical variables. This is a marginal change, derivational change in the probabilities. So you have to first think whether this is what you require or not. Means so far I have not seen so many papers with the marginal effects in a published publications as compared to the odds ratio or probabilities. Although I am not only specified to this particular field, you have to check your literature review. Means this thing subjective, so you have to first cross check it with your literature review, at what methodology maximum of them are following, and is there anyone is explaining specific reason for that, because this is some subjective thing. I'm saying these are the all possible methods: log of odds, predict probabilities, marginal effects, odds ratio. You can choose any one of you which you want. but you try to give that particular figure which is easy to interpret. That's what I feel, that anyone who is reading your answer, give any interpretation which is easy to understand. Because in odds ratio, we don't have some specific this average position. Here first one has to understand this position, that okay, compared to this average position, now the change from one category to another, the probability is changed by this number. And this extra thing we have to take care. And another thing, I'll share this paper with you. If this is not a categorical variable, it's a quantitative variable, like yeah, GPA and all. If let's suppose in GPA like this GPA system, it's not always that GPA from 1 to 2, GPA from 3 to 4, it's in fractions, right? And your this interpretation of this particular margins is at least one change of 1 unit. So then in for fractions, that interpretation is incorrect. That's the technical point you have to take care. If your variable is continuous, then be careful about using marginal effects. If change is not of a 1 but of a fractions, then you can't just simply apply this marginal change, because it will give an instantaneous rate of change for continuous variables, but if change is in fractions, then it's not a comparable. That's one technical problem with the continuous variables with the marginal effects. So although I have only read 3 or 4 papers on this particular topic, still I am working on this thing, that is there any remedial solution with the marginal effects, because many prefer marginal effects as well, like Pallavi is saying. But so far, this is my limitation. I am not convinced with this particular methodology as compared to odds ratio. That's my preference. But I told you that these two methods, you can choose whatever you want. Okay, so this is the first part now. Logit model. Same is the situation for the probability model, only the model specification is different. Means as far as this command, yes, in probabilities, this probability model or command will not work. If you will be using a probability model, means probability model, then only the thing is you have to use marginal effects, because odds ratio will not be in a your this probability model. So then the choice is only of a marginal effect. Then it's not a choice that we can use odds ratio. Then you have to go by a marginal effects. That's might be a reason that in this Gujarati textbook they have not given any other explanation in this particular model except for this marginal changes. Yeah, they have given this marginal changes only, because this methodology, the way this model is, it's not possible with the odds ratio, because odds ratio, as I told you, we use this trick to solve the logistic distribution function in a simplistic way, to make it in a right hand side in a linear forms. So we use this trick of odds ratio, but that trick is not part of probability model at all. So then you have to go with the marginal effects or probabilities. So first, the functional difference in this particular model. Multinomial, or can we use marginal factor or ratio? Yeah, with that you can use. I'll come later on these two cases, ordered and multinomial. First, just because these things will remain same, probabilities and marginal effects, only specification will change. With specification, now you can understand that log of odds and odds ratio is not a part at all for probability model. These two things are technical part of the this logit model, but not at all for the probability model. Then another thing is, then which model you will prefer, or is there any some big difference in these two models? The basic difference is, as I told you, the problem with the OLS in the LPM model for categorical variables is the major problem is this four problem. Out of that, one is this 0 to 1, and second, this is not a linear case. These are the cases where we have this type of functions, right? The CDF functions we have used in a logistic model. So there is not only a single functional form. This is the logistic distribution function we used, right? Similarly, we have this normal CDF function that we use for probit model, and a graphical difference was then this is difference is that probit model is steeper than the logistic model. It touch this axis faster than the logistic model. This is the situation of the probit model, this normal cumulative density function model, and this is a logistic distribution function. So this is a technical difference. If you think that that axis, it is not that we need some steeper function, then go with the logistic function. If you think we need some steeper function which touch axis quickly, then go with the probit model. Yes, that's a technical difference between these two models. And if you read any of the textbook, they will tell you that this choice is into an individual. Means they won't comment on this thing that you have to use logit or probit. This choice is specifically to individual, but yes, these two distributions are different. So if your answer is in between these two distributions, that if you think that you need this type of more flatter distribution, then go with the logit distribution, logistic function. And if you think you need some steeper function, then go with the probit model. Definitely the coefficients are going to change because these are two totally different functions. Means that thing you have to take care. Now, plus I suggest to read before applying this to read some literature that in your particular research question it depends on model to model actually. So I can't tell you that okay, use this one for this category and this one this category. So I suggest you before that just read a literature for your particular model and situation and try to see that whether they are going with the probit model or a logistic model, because it depends upon this distribution that what you think is that you need some flat position or some steeper position. If equational difference is totally different, logistic function as this cumulative density distribution function is in this particular form. That was the form for this logit model. But for this normal cumulative distribution function, this is normal probability function. This particular equation that we generally use for to find the probabilities in a normal distributions. This is the function for a probit model. Example, so far I have not. So far, I never applied probit model because I have not this particular situation in my literature that that explain me that I need a model because these predictions, these predicted values are touching this 1 and 0 value as faster as compared to the model. So I never have this particular situation. So what I did whenever I had this position to apply any one of these models, I read the literature for that particular part, and I had gone with the methodology that maximum researchers have used, because when you don't know the path, then I won't suggest you go blindly follow some particular methodology. So that's what I can suggest you in this case, because there is no textbook which gives you this content that in which position you have to prefer which particular model. Maybe this is not a situation because these are totally two different models and they solve this problem. Means the purpose is that this particular problem, right? 0 to 1. That's why we have in the first hand used this CDF function. Again, this function is also solving this problem. So we can't comment that now out of these two, which one you have to use. But I, the practical situation I'm telling you, go with the literature. Read the papers and see which model they have used. Other technical difference, no, there is no other technical difference because this is only a difference in the function. There is no advantage, disadvantage that I can compare about these two models. Okay, so yes, I was in the functional form, yeah. Now, in place of that 1 upon 1 plus exponential raised to power, in place of that, now we have to solve this particular equation. That's the total functional difference. Again, this is also a non-linear function. So we have to go with the MLE methodology. Means in both the cases, even if it's a probit model or a logit model, methodology is same. MLE, maximum likelihood. They are not at all with the OLS because now in this place, x minus mu, we have to put our regression equation, y minus beta 1 plus beta 2 had x variable, and it's in the exponential power. So again, its parameter is non-linear, so we can't use simple OLS method. We have to use some alternative method, that is MLE method. Derivation part, I'm not going to do that. Time shortage is there. Otherwise, if anyone of you specifically required for any master or any course in PhD, you don't need that. But if anyone of you, then you can contact me later on. We can do that. I'll try to find some extra time to solve these derivations that how they give the estimation with the matrix format. Okay, so okay, so for this particular, okay, let's do it with the Stata software then. Same model. Now I am running in place of logit. I am running probit. Is now what it will do, it will use this probit equational form to estimate the coefficients. That's the change. Same methodology, this maximum likelihood methodology. Pseudo-square are more or less same because it depends upon that how correctly my predictions are. If they are more or less same, then pseudo R-square is not going to change. My model is statistically significant. Again, for individual coefficients, is large sample size, so z-test is they are going to use. This significance also not going to change. Only the change is in these numbers, right? These numbers are going to change. So here now people suggest that if you apply probit model, then it is suggested that use margins for explanation because odds ratio is not for the probit model. It's also not means that margins are only for the probit model. You can apply with the logit model as well, but just think that whether they are required because their explanation is different as compared to the odds ratio. It will take time. Okay, for the time being, let's take this. Okay, anything else? Anyone want to ask about the probit model? This is distribution difference. This is its different distribution. Logic distribution is different. These are two different distributions. Graphical difference is that probability is steeper as compared to the logistic model. Another difference is that this log of odds and odds ratio is only a part of logic model. It is not at all part of methodology of the probit model. So there is no use in the logic model of these two concepts. Only we can find probabilities, predict probabilities or marginal effects in case of probit model. Okay, so for the time being, ordered and multinomial logit models. Now the change is only going to be in a dependent variable side. independent variable situation will remain same. This in these two there is a fundamental difference in these two type of models. If you have a ordered variable case like Likert scale and all these type of scales, then thing is that like this my general education level, if let's suppose this is my dependent variable, so this is not a nominal case but it is a ordered case, that for one particular variable general education there is some specific order. In ordered cases you have to think is about, let's suppose I have these 4 general education levels, illiterate to 5 below primary, then 6 to 10th, 11 to graduate, and graduate and above. And if it's a nominal case like ST, SC, others, OBC and others. In this case, if we apply ordered logit model or ordered probit model, you can apply any of these two. Results will give you the coefficients you have is now comparison. Earlier in discrete variable, the comparison is of from 0 to 1, right? Like we are comparing odds of pi to 1 minus pi. From not being in that particular category to being in that particular category, or not being the holding that particular thing, or we have that particular thing. Here the comparison is either you compare first category to all 3 categories, or you compare first 2 categories with another 2 categories, or first 3 categories with the 4th category. This is the change. Here only comparison is from the 0 to 1, right? Here comparison now 4 possible combinations. First with the all the remaining 3, first 2 with the remaining 2, first 3 with the remaining last, right? Answer will remain same if you think this proportional change is constant. If it's constant or not, that's another thing that we have to check with the margins for each level, whether this change is constant or not. Then only we have to think about it, that whether this explanation is right or not. But in generally in these ordered models, these softwares assume that this proportional change is same. It means that in any of the outcome, that the change from first category to second, second to 3, the change is constant. If it's not constant, that's totally a different situation for ordered model. If this is the situation, then model will take any of these categories as reference category and compare that with the other categories one by one. It's not that 1 with 3, 3 with 2, 2 with 2, or 3 with 1. No, it's one by one. ST versus SC, then ST versus OBC, then ST versus others. Or you can do others compared to OBC, others compared to SC, others compared to ST. This is the difference in interpretation in these two models, ordered and multinomial. And this is the only difference as compared to the discrete model. Definitely methodologically now we have this complex procedure, so software run 3 or 5, 6, 7 times for in these cases. That's the technical thing. But as far as comparative thing, this is the difference between the now here comparison is one reference category with others. It means in this multinomial logic, Stata will give you results, all the table results 3 times. First ST with SC, then ST with OBC, then ST with others. 3 times you will get all the coefficients. Here you will get only one times. Now choice is your comparison. If you think it's a constant change, can say one with respect to all the three, first two respect to other two, or first three with the other three. And if you think this is not the situation, it's not a constant proportionate change, then the procedure is a little bit difficult. Then first we have to calculate margins, and then we have to specify to the model that it's not a constant case. Then we have to do some changes in ordered logit model. That's a little bit complex procedure. Means that's what I'm saying, that for these processes it take a time. Means I need at least 3-4 classes to explain you all these processes. Then only I can explain that how you run these models. Okay, let's see our yeah, margins are now calculated. Now in this we applied probit model and we calculated the margins at means. So now we can compare with the margins all these results. So in probit model you have this thing, or you can predict the probabilities. Let's say we can predict the probabilities. We are now from the probit model. Let's see, are there any changes? You can see in the predict probabilities compared to logit, slight difference of 0.01 only. Like here 29% are there in this probit model, again 29%, 23, 26, 18%, 21%, 83, 81, 97, 98. So only a slight change in the this predictions. Again for this situation where we were incorrect predicted, it was 83, now 81%, approximately 82%. So even so, that's the thing I'm saying. With the logit and probit, these predictions were changed by slight smallest probabilities like 0.01 or 0.02. So it won't make big difference. Only thing is that what you think it touch axis, this axis quickly. I mean, you need some flatter curve or you need some steeper curve. That's the technical difference between two. But still, we are not sure about these things. So that's why I'm suggesting you go with the literature. Okay. How many of you have any doubt in these two first, in this part? Is it clear to everyone? First, discrete part, logit and probit model, MLE methodology, logo forts, how we predict probabilities, marginal effects, and sorts ratio. Anyone if you have still any doubt in these any part of these two models? Yes or no? Ikra, Tanya, or Nikat? Any doubt in these parts? First part, this discrete case. Or Gagan? Okay. So next two cases, your independent is independent. What it means is that this table component, there is nothing going to be changed in this side for these two models. There is nothing new in these all the cases for multinomial logit model and ordered. Only now change is in the dependent side, right? and that will only create a difference in the interpretation from the dependent side only, not from the independent side. You will get coefficients same like this logit and probit. These models you can apply ordered logit, ordered probit model, or multinomial logit model, or multinomial probit model, but the difference is in the interpretation in the dependent side. Okay, so let me attempt this first. Multinomial logit, but I'm not sure means this will give me result or not. My variables are quite okay. Let me reduce this model independent variables and put some variable as a categorical variable in the dependent case, so that straight I will run this model. Okay, so for multinomial logit, I only have to add ham logit, and now it's not a two category variable. Now I need, let me put, I'm taking just for hypothetical case, it's not now a model. Social group, I'm taking as a dependent because it has a categories, sector, social group, and I'm running, so I need OR as well, and I'm simplicity, education level I'm removing. Okay, keep it religion, household size, keep it sector, keep it gender, won't make any sense, age won't make any sense, marital status won't make any sense, education, religion, household size, sector. Okay, let's see if they run it this particular model. Option or not allowed. Okay. Sector value. Too high at iteration. Earlier it was, I think, some 4 5. Yeah, now it will take some time. Okay, iteration is now still working because now just think it's not a 3. Sorry. Earlier, if it's a 7 or 8 iterations, so multiply it with 4 categories, 4. So it is 32 iterations. No, no, they will provide, but command will be different. I'll send you that command. Okay, so after iterations, my pseudo R square now reduced. Let's see, is there any significant variable? Okay, yeah, this is the thing I'm telling you, that when you have a multinomial logit, you have a coefficients for all the categories. First ST, SC, OBC, OBC vis-a-vis others. Now it take others because by default these models are designed whichever category has maximum frequency. So generally others have a maximum frequency. So in compared to others, now strata provided as a coefficients for ST, SC, and OBC. So it's now same model 3 times. Earlier what we are doing, we are comparing results with the 0 to 1. Now we are comparing results with others with ST, others with SC, others with OBC. That's the difference between simple discrete model and multinomial logit model. Although I don't prefer this multinomial because it's quite complicated, right? Miss, let's say try to compare. This is the log of odds. Okay, let's say this religion. Compared to others, in case of SC, now others is the reference category. Compared to others for SC, the probabilities, log of odds. First, just take this case of Muslims. is in a negative, it's quite low. Or if it's a odds ratio, it's quite low. So this is how you have to interpret. It's now it's not that 0 to 1, but some reference category to that thing you have to compare in the dependent. All this is a hypothetical, means then we have to select the variable properly. Although it won't make this meaning that religion with the social group, that is there any specific religion which have a maximum percentage in any specific category. That's not the case. Means this is just hypothetical model I am taking here, but this is how this multinomial logic work as compared to the discrete variable. Means there is no difference in any other thing. Technically, there is no difference. MLE process, log of odds, can predict probabilities, can calculate marginal effects, odds ratio, but I have to figure it out because with simple model, this odds ratio they have not fixed. Reason is that odds ratio and then this iteration process, it will take a quite long time. And another thing that is in odds ratio, the thing is pi by 1 minus pi, right? Now this is not a situation, right? It's like in this case what we did, others with the SC. Also, this is not something that have or have not. That's the odds ratio. So I have to cross check whether they will provide this function in any other alternative form, because in this theoretical literature, there are few adjustments they did, but so far I have to think about that. Other thing, yes, the change is only in this side. Other thing, there is no change from the right hand side. This technical problem is with the odds ratio here. Whether it's only with the data or with all the softwares, that because of this technical problem, because now it's not a situation, right? 1 or 0 probability of success and failure. That's not the case here. It's another situation. So is it possible or not? That I have to check. Is on these few advanced algorithms I am still working, because these processes are not quite easy like this, but first case we have done. So this is now similarly you can run ordered, but for ordered the interpretation is different. In ordered case, it won't run 3 times, only 1 time. Now comparison, you can decide which comparison you want. First with the other 3, first 2 with the other 2, or first 3 with the other. Means it will give you only one coefficient. If you not specify to a model that this proportionate change is not constant, it will give you only one single result. That you can use, means that is just to give reference category ST. Means iota will then in that case what iota will do, since our ST is the code 1, so then it will take ST as a reference category. You can that only change this reference category. By default, Stata will take the category which have a maximum frequency as a reference category. If we specify iota, then it will take the code 1 as a reference category. So if you specify, then it will give you answers in compared to ST. That's the change in multinomial logic. Then similarly now, but in multinomial logic, if you calculate this marginal effects, now just think how you compare. This is a 4 layers of comparison. Categories, first layer, independent categories, second layer. Then if it's a simple marginal effect compared to this baseline, and then fourth layer you will put with the marginal effect. So that comparison you have to first think. That's not easy. Although yes, I have read papers with the multinomial logic, because if these type of outcomes you have, there is no other option. Means you have to apply multinomial logic. So there is no choice. But yes, that interpretation is not quite easy. For that, we need some extra classes and extra time to discuss that thing. In this short duration, it's not possible. These models really need a take. Means if you attend these workshops, only on these models, they take 1 week and 2 weeks specific to these qualitative dependent variables. It's not just with the 1, 2 class we can complete it. So that's I'm leaving with you that now I told you how these models will work, how you have to predict what are the outcomes they will give you. Now this reading part is yours. You have the sources, read these advanced econometric parts about specific to these models. On logit, only on this logit part, there are specific econometric books for biostats cases and other cases. Only on this particular topic, you will find specific textbooks. There they have attempted these things in a detail. So you have to go with that, read that particular literature. Maybe you will find some more explanation of these models that I'm missing because I have my limitations. I'm trying to complete here from basic to and in your research you only have a one model, so you have that leverage. You can go beyond that and read as much as possible. You can do that. I'm still working on few of these models, specifically this ordered non-constant proportionate changes. Still I am working on it. So this is the qualitative dependent variable case. Tomorrow I'll try to take this censored case, this stunted case, if that will be the situation, that how you have to apply. This derivational Tobit approach is quite different as compared to these cases. So yes, but in as in final words, be careful before applying these models. Think twice. Is it necessary you have to apply these models? Because in my coursework where I had done these things, one is from the Himanshu sir. He is from associated with the London School of Economics and GNU CSP. And another sir from whom I have learned, he did this course from the New Zealand. One unique feature about this course in the New Zealand is that New Zealand is specialized in econometric courses because they're in all the master and all the courses. These three econometric courses, microeconometrics, macroeconometrics, and this econometrics is more or less compulsory there. So that's also a specialization from that particular end. So I had learned these derivations from Sumit sir. He did these courses from the New Zealand, and Himanshu sir from the London School of Economics, means two different part of the world. And at many points, I have realized that there are subjectivity in many approaches, not in this particular case qualitative, but yes, there is a still subjectivity. Reason is that this subject is still evolving. After if you read these econometric books, you will find references not 1800 or something. No, maximum references are 1960s, 70s, 80s, 90s. So this subject is still evolving and people are trying to work with these methods. Only positive thing is that with the time everything is within the softwares, so you can do the applied part. But yes, to understand the applied part, limitation is there. Textbooks are highly paid textbooks. You need data sets. You need patience as well. Means you have to read this econometric literature for that particular model. And many times, I also face this problem that many times in the beginning we see, okay, there are a number of equations. So we skip those papers that, okay, we are not going to read that paper, but they are actually important papers. So these subjects are still, means these advanced parts are still evolving and we have to read maximum literature. In published literature papers, only few of the models they applied, so we need more clarifications. So this is the limitation from the teaching side, and that you can face everywhere. Means with certainty, no one will tell you in econometrics, specifically at many branches, that you can do this thing for this particular thing. You can do this thing for this particular situation. No, there is no one-to-one answers. There is a subjectivity. Reason subject is still evolving, and still we need this expertise in this particular subject after a certain level. This so far till basic econometrics we are certain, but we have to do in particular situation, but not in this advanced one. Okay, so thank you so much. And now tomorrow I'll only attempt this particular part sensor. For ordered logic, just write O logit, multinomial M logit. In ordered logic, the command is just M O logit you have to type, or O probit, any of these two commands. Okay, so thank you so much. I hope this part will help you, those of you are going to attempt these models. But this is, I suggest you please read first literature. Don't try to skip the things. And because I have seen that 90% you are not reading. You know, you means scholars in these days like us, we are not reading the literature. Just since we know the software, okay, this is the command run and interpret, just run one or two research paper, interpret in the same way. And this is not the approach. Be sure model you are applying. Okay, thank you so much.